Do you constantly compare yourself to other product photographers? You look at their work and you think, oh my God, I wish I could create that. Or you might think, why should I even bother? There are people way more talented than I am who would want to hire me. And they say comparison is the thief of joy. And we can either let ourselves sink deeper and deeper into the comparison hole, or we can pull ourselves out. And so in this video, I want to give you some tips on how you as a product photographer can start to really just kick these feelings of comparison to the curb, because when we do, we open up ourselves to a whole new realm of possibilities and we start to have those feelings of, I'm unstoppable, I can do anything, fucking watch me go. And so I'm going to share what I think is a key ingredient to stop playing that comparison game once and for all. Because when we are so focused on other people and what they are doing, how they are living, what they are saying, it honestly is just such a disgusting feeling, and it can start to create a lot of fear inside ourselves. So we want to release that. We want to release ourselves from the chains of comparison. And I promise you, this is actually possible. Back when I started product photography in 2017, I have had my fair share of moments where I've compared myself. And I'd wonder, how does one make this go away? Does it ever go away? And I didn't actually believe that you could get to a point where you don't feel comparison anymore. But I believe it now. So firstly, when we compare ourselves, we are self-mirroring. We're looking at someone and we're identifying our desires, our wants, the things that we want to achieve, who we want to be, how we want to show up in the world. Or it's showing us things that we think we want, but deep down don't actually want, because we're not doing those things, are we? And it's up to us to differentiate between, is this what I want, or is this what I think that I want? And that's where those comparison feelings come from. Oh, Sally and I started our businesses at the same time, but Sally is out here booking these incredible well-known brands. Well, why aren't I doing that? Or Sally is out here producing insane quality work. Why doesn't my work look like that? Now, as I mentioned before, you can sit in this state and let it paralyze you. You can let your mind get noisy from these thoughts, and you can give a lot of energy over to Sally over here, who's probably comparing herself to somebody else. Or you can use it as motivation, as fuel, to go out and achieve those things that you desire, that Sally has achieved. And while we're using this as motivation to take action, we can go inwards and we can start to focus on ourselves. So this is what I think is the key ingredient to finally kicking comparison to the curb. Now, this question sounds quite simple in nature, but it can be a hard one to answer and even more difficult to implement. And that is the question of what makes you different? What makes you different? And you might say, well, because I'm me. I'm different because I'm me. Well, that's nice, but what does that actually mean? And when I ask you the question, what makes you different, we're not talking about surface level shit. We're not talking about like, oh, well, I can create high quality work for people. Everyone can do that. So what makes you different to everybody else who can create high quality work? Now, when you start to really think about how you are going to show up differently than everyone else, how you're unique, what superpowers do you have, and how you're going to pave your own path in this industry. When you fully understand and are clear on these answers to these questions, that's when you truly start to embody all of those things. And that is when you start to show up in that way. That is when you start to attract the right kind of people and brands to your business, because they align and they resonate with your energy and your vibe. This year, I have been on a huge personal development journey because I am starting to move into my next big level of business. And there is no room for comparison there. I've been working with business coaches, I've joined a mastermind, multiple programs, I've attended a business retreat, I've been doing breath work, I've started meditating twice a day, I've started connecting with people who operate at a higher frequency than me. And all of this has occurred in the last 5 months. And there came a point where I realized that there is absolutely no need for me to compare myself anymore, because I have truly created a unique space for myself in this industry. I have built my own lane and it's just me driving. There are no other cars here to distract me, and there are no merging lanes. So no one can actually merge into my lane. And that's the way that I visualize it. And this came as a result of truly understanding and seeing my own power. And I still have a long way to go. And I honestly feel like I'm just at the beginning of a journey. But it's because I've been able to answer all of those questions of what makes me different and really get down to the nitty-gritty details of that question. And once you have those answers, this is going to help you show up in your business in such a powerful way that you're gonna start seeing some changes. Because when you actually embody what makes you different and you apply that to your business, you attract the right people who are meant to be in your space. You don't feel like you have to force anything, and you feel much more in flow with your business and your life. So my little exercise for you in this video is to grab out your journal and run through some questions that I have left in the description box below for you. Now, my second tip alongside this is to clean up your social media, because this is probably where your feelings of comparison are triggered the most, when you're watching other people on social media. So you might want to unfollow people or mute their stories and their posts. Start cleaning up your space. Start reducing that outside noise so that the loudest voice is your own. Now, if you would love more videos like this where it's more mindset focused, let me know in the comments below. I read a really great quote the other day where it said, "Your business cannot outgrow your mind." And I thought that was such a powerful statement because it holds so much truth. Your mind is the only thing in the way of your next level, because we can implement all the strategies in the world. We can optimize all our systems and our foundations and our operations in business, which, yes, this is required of us to do to run a streamlined and efficient business. But if your mind does not support your next level, it's going to be very difficult for you to get there because your mind is trying to keep you safe at this level. So we have to start to release these narratives that we tell ourselves. And a really popular one, for example, is when it comes to pricing and we're putting forward quotes, "Oh, this client can't afford this." We instantly just assume that the client who's come to us with an inquiry cannot afford our rates. And that impacts how we draw up our proposal. It impacts how we value ourselves. It impacts whether or not we actually charge our worth for that project. And it all becomes a cycle because we tell ourselves these stories and these narratives based on what we assume of the world. So we need to change our world internally so that we can start to support our next level in business, so that we can actually scale, so that we can actually grow. And this is why the mindset side of things in business, it's this work that is actually going to help you scale and grow your business in a sustainable way. Now, when it comes to beating comparison, this is not an overnight thing. This can take months, it can take years to get to the point where you feel so embodied in yourself and in your power that nothing else matters. No one else matters. No one else's opinion matters. And I will say that it is so freaking freeing and empowering to be at that place. And I can promise you that it's possible to get there. Now, if you have any questions, you want to chat about anything, let's have a conversation in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.